Aloba. Wunmi Aloba. Wunmi Aloba. How many times did I call you? 3 times. I beg. When you're granting all these interviews, please try and be honest. In other words, when you're granting these interviews, understand the fact that, or know the fact that you're talking to millions of people. And those people you're talking to, a lot of them are very intelligent and they are smart. So when you're saying or when you come out to talk, I think the best thing to say to you is just be honest. Be honest. Because honesty is very straight. If you've been honest from day one, all the whole interviews and everything you've been saying, they will all be coherent, they will all be together. But you tell one story today, tomorrow you tell something different. Nobody's saying you were the one that buried your husband. We're just saying, or we're asking, or want to know what happened. What happened? That's what everybody wants to know. That's what people, and that's what you owe it to the world, because you brought this into the internet. You brought this whole thing to the internet, lied. You're giving them trophy. They finally succeeded. They actually buried your husband. That. You roped Naira Marley into it. And this guy was grilled. The whole world, everybody grilled him. People unfollowed him. He lost, money. He lost a lot of things. He lost respect. Only for us to come back and find out that this guy was not even around when this guy died. He wasn't even around there. He was out of the country when he died. Then the one and only wife of Mohbad, the husband of your youth, like you always call him, could not come out and tell the world, this was what happened to my husband. This was what they did to my husband. And be honest about it. And now you had an interview with Chudi. Chudi, that one won't be saying, him too disappoints me. I am podcast, honestly. I used to see that podcast as an honest, podcast. But after this film trick, where you and Chudi do, that interview was full of lies. He was cooked. There was no honesty in that interview. Your body language, his body language, you can tell from his body language that he was just being hypocritical. He was not asking you the question. It's not like in his heart he doesn't know the right question to ask you. And he knew the right question to ask you. But he was just asking you the one that will be sweet in your belly. Very, very hypocritical of him. Because if Mohbad was Chudi's brother, and he had the wife who was present as at the time Mohbad passed, Chudi will not sit down and be asking you those questions. Those kind of questions he will not ask you. I'm sure he will ask you the sensitive and the question everybody is expecting for him to ask. But he came there, maybe you paid him to do that interview. And then he was blabbing, asking questions that are not relevant. Very, very disappointed in that interview, that podcast, that rubbish he did. And then, let's start from the story I heard, allegedly, that when Mohbad was alive, he had no bank account. That kept me wondering, because I'm a woman. And I know very well that my husband comes out tomorrow and he doesn't have any accounts and he has money coming into him. If he wants to pay that money into my account, I'll advise him to go and open an account in his name. I'll say, darling, honey, whatever I call him, please go and open an account in your name. It's very important that you have an account. But for you, Wunmi, to be comfortable, for him to be paying money into your account and paying money into your family account, speaks a volume. It says a lot about you. It says a lot about you. And then, this boy finally died. Instead of you and your cohort to come out and tell us what had happened to this boy, you've been cooking up stories, lying, making up all kinds of stories, lying about things, trying to cover up, stories, cover up, what happened on that day. But one thing you don't know is that one thing about lie. When you tell a lie, you actually have to lie to cover the lies that you've told. And along the way, if you're not careful, you'll be caught lying. But truth is straight. So you actually think that this guy will not find justice. I'm sure that when all these things started, even one of the voice notes I listened to, I heard where he was saying to you that if he buys tomorrow, that will be the biggest mistake you ever made, that you will suffer. And I'm sure when he said that to you, he went into these ears and came out the other way. You thought, what can you do? After all, your dad is a carpenter. Your mom is nobody. Maybe that was what came to your mind. Because for him to make such statements, there would have some action. There would have been some kind of things or treatment he was getting from you that made him say such stuff to you. If you had a loving relationship with him, if you actually made him feel special, if you actually loved him like you should have, you wouldn't have made that statement. He saw red for him to make such statements. Even up till this guy died, you still don't want to be loving to this boy. You don't care about it. All you care about is the property, the money. That's why you came out and you are lying to the world that this guy had put property in the son's name, in Liam's name. How possible was that? How possible was it that Mohbad got properties in Liam's name? This is somebody that had nothing, that came from a poor background, that had nothing in his name. How was it possible that he would buy property and be putting Liam's name in his properties? People who do that are men who actually has bought so many properties in their name and they want to start buying some in their children's name. Not someone like Mohbad. Wunmi, I'm going to advise you as a sister, change your ways. Change your ways, because money is nothing. Change your ways. And when you do all this, interviews, try and be honest. And tell your cohorts, those your group of associates that are coming out to lie and cover up, tell them that this justice must prevail. It's high time you guys go back and sit down and do a meeting and tell yourself the truth. Tell yourselves the truth. Does it look like to you like this justice will not prevail? It will prevail. If this government is the government that is covering your asses, understanding that this government will not be there forever. And the way I'm looking at this Mohbad movement, until justice prevails, a lot of people are not ready to give up. If this government comes and goes, the pursuit for this justice will continue. I hope you know that. Because this present government is in your favor, you don't know who maybe the next government might not be in your favor. So if I was you, I would just tell the truth. Tell the world what had happened to my husband. Be honest. Just be honest, and it will set you free. And tell these people that all these other people you are working with, all of them should come out and tell the truth. Mohbad's head is too strong. That boy's head is too strong, and he warned you. He said he will